You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
For the community, by the community.
It's 2016, and thank you for joining Two Guys and a Lot of Wine. I'm Bobby P.
And I'm James Kimbrough.
And we are very honored to have a person who was behind the camera for almost 5 years working on our show, former program director, Jitu Huntley, who made our show not only what it is, but is just a damn good guy. So thank you for being on our show tonight.
Oh, thanks for having me, Bob.
Great to have you here, Jitu.
Great to be here. I'm very excited tonight.
Jitu has joined us for drinks after the show, but he is finally going to drink with us during the show to rate the topic tonight, which is Wine Spectator's Top 100 Wines for 2015. We're not going to be tasting all 100, Jim.
I wish we could, but we're not going to have enough time.
We'll be tasting 4 on this episode. So we're very excited by that.
And these are all wines that are under $20 as far as the magazine's pricing is concerned. The pricing we found here locally is a little bit higher, but this is kind of in keeping with the theme for the show. Bob and I like to have wines that are under $20. So these are all wines that Wine Spectator rated 90 points or higher, and they've priced these at about $20 or lower.
Yes, and I know, Jitu, you sort of started collecting wine yourself now, and I know we've had 90 plus wines on the show, which generally are wines that are 90 points or higher, but you don't really know what you're drinking. On this show, you're actually drinking wines that have been rated 90 points or better, and you can do your own research and see if you can find them locally. Might be tough, because some of these might be out, but if you do some research, you might be able to find them around the area. So we're going to jump right into it, right?
Yeah, let's start with the Pomelo.
We're going to start with the Pomelo, which is number 40 on Wine Spectator's Top 100 list. It is a California Sauvignon Blanc. And as most of our viewers know, Jim and I do love our Sauvignon Blancs. And I don't know what to expect from this. I like a very citrusy forward Sauvignon Blanc. And I'm trying not to be jaded by Wine Spectator's, I think it was a 90-pointer for this one.
Yeah, this was 90 points.
And excuse me, 90 out of 100?
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Actually, I've never tasted a 100-pointer before.
I have not either. That'd be a whole nother show.
It might be
very
next
expensive
year.
show.
Yeah, exactly.
This
Save up all year.
Very mild bouquet right off the bat.
Yeah, not a lot.
Now, I'm going to jump right in this really quickly. This does not come across as a Sauvignon Blanc right away.
It doesn't.
And I know California Sauvignon Blancs sometimes are like that. The tasting notes on this are fruity, golden delicious apples with a tart finish. I do get a tart finish with this, but I do not get a really bold in your face citrus pop.
I don't. It's supposed to have a lot of grapefruit too, and I don't get any of the grapefruit. I get a little kind of a buttery sensation with this, which reminds me of a Chardonnay.
I was about to say the exact same thing. If I was doing a tasting, like a blind tasting, I would say this is a Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this is not typical of Sauvignon Blanc.
Now,
Toasted tongue.
I don't know if you knew this, Jim, with the Pomelo, but it's a 5% barrel fermentation and a 95% cold tank fermentation. I don't know if that's going to make a difference as to what we're tasting.
That gives you a little bit of oak. I don't know if they do any malolactic fermentation, but that would give it kind of the buttery characteristic.
And this is a 100% Sauvignon Blanc grape,
Okay.
I believe. This is not a blend.
Not a blend, okay.
But this is a tough one for me because I went into this one thinking, great, a good California Sauvignon Blanc that's on Wine Spectator's Top 100. But I'm sort of in between on this.
Well, I'll be honest. I went to buy this at a store in Boston, and the merchant tried to steer me away from it. And she said that when she and her friends first tasted this, they thought it tasted a lot like mouthwash. They were not keen on it. So I was jaded about this wine before I even tried it.
I would not be that harsh. Would you be that harsh too?
No, I wouldn't say, definitely not mouthwash. It's not the best Sauvignon Blanc I've ever had, but definitely not mouthwash. It's just not what I would expect from a Sauvignon Blanc. I would if I were in really wanting Sauvignon Blanc and I had this, I would be
A little disappointed.
A little disappointed
Yeah.
because it's not quite what I'm in the mood for. That wouldn't be what I was in
Yeah.
the mood for.
And I'm also disappointed because this was on the top 100 list.
But see,
And
that's
it doesn't seem like it belongs on that list.
That's why, it's a first show for 2016. We've never really focused on Wine Spectator because generally this whole theme of the show is what we like and we
Right.
want
Yeah.
to talk about. So this is sort of a step outside the box for us. And this is an example where just because it's a national magazine they say this is in their top 100, it doesn't satisfy my palate as a Sauvignon Blanc.
Exactly.
So
I will say this, it got better when I had it with food. My wife and I tried this a couple of nights ago, and we had something spicy with this, and that made the wine a little more palatable. Still wasn't a great Sauvignon Blanc, though. I still, even with the food, I didn't think it belonged on the top 100 list, but it did make it better. And we have this problem with Chianti, too. You taste Chianti by itself, it doesn't really drink that well on its own. You pair Chianti with food, suddenly the Chianti's a really good wine. So I'm going to give this a little leeway because we're drinking it by itself tonight, but I think it's a little disappointing.
also what's curious is it's called pomelo, and pomelo is a fruit. It's a tangy fruit, I believe, isn't it? Something along which is why they named it this. I mean, the makers named it pomelo because it sort of reminded them of the tanginess of the pomelo. And I actually not overly familiar with a pomelo flavor.
Yeah, I don't
but
know
maybe
what that
that's what
tastes
I'm tasting, and that's why I'm not associating it with grapefruit. It's not unpleasant, but I would probably say this could be a summer drinker on a hot day with
Yep.
some other type of like a Pinot Grigios. It's not a dog by any means,
No, it's not a dog.
but it's just if you're really a powerful Marlboro Sauvignon Blanc person, this isn't going to satisfy your taste buds.
No, it is not.
So, have fun.
That's what I'm giving it, half thumb.
Gosh, I'm going to be half done as well.
Okay, so we have three
We have
agreements.
some
on the
consensus,
half.
that's good.
Oh, and the price point is anywhere between $9.99 and $13.99 locally, which is still a fair price for something that to me isn't a great Sauvignon Blanc, but I don't have a problem with the price.
And one other thing I wanted to mention is, Bob and I went looking for these wines, and because they're in the Wine Spectator, they're selling out very quickly. And a lot of the wines that we're going to talk about tonight had very limited production. The Pomelo had 38,000 cases made, which is substantial. But one of the others we're going to get to tonight had only 4,500 cases.
Sure.
And other wines on the list had several hundred cases, 200, 300, 400 cases. So when you see it in Wine Spectator, oftentimes by the time that magazine has gone to print, the wine's gone. You can't get it anywhere.
Is that typical to make that few cases for these caliber wines?
Yes, it is. If a winemaker is trying to produce something and really put a stamp on the wine world and say this is our best wine, they will make a small production run so that it sells out very quickly and people are clamoring for
Got
it.
it.
And
Supply and demand,
then bidding the
basic
price up.
economics.
Yeah, so that
Absolutely.
that just makes them look much better.
Excellent.
All right, well, we're going into a Chardonnay next, Jim. Do you want me to start
All right,
pouring
go
on
ahead
this
and
one?
pour that. This is the Calera. This is also from California. Again, this is 90 points. This is going to be a little more expensive. It's in the $20 to $25 range, which is a little more than Bob and I like to spend on wine for this show. But let's see if this is worth it.
It poured very creamy when I was pouring it, so it certainly has a
It's got a lot
creaminess
more body
aspect
to it than the first one we tried.
I'm expecting this to be buttery. I kind of smell it on there.
Yeah, you get a lot of butter right up front with this. But then you get a little citrus at the end. You get a little bit
You get
of
the
a
bite right at the end. Yeah, this is very interesting for me because we've talked about Chardonnays many times on the show. This tastes like a Chardonnay, but it doesn't offend me.
Exactly.
It
And
doesn't
I
offend
had
me.
the same sensation. And again, I tried this one a couple of nights ago. I was not really enthusiastic about it when I first tried it, but tonight it's drinking very well, and I am reevaluating my opinion of it. I think it ranks somewhere near some of the other Chardonnays we've had on this show. I like this one.
And like a lot of Chardonnays, it probably will go good with food. I just put a piece of cheese in my mouth, a mild cheese. I wanted to see if it affected my... Yeah, it's still pleasant.
Yep. Yeah, you get some pear with this, a little bit of apple.
And it's just, what's the makeup of this one? What's a little bit of the, know anything about the history of this one?
It's 100% Chardonnay. Very small case count. There are about 14,000 cases. And
It's California as well?
This is California as well. And I don't know how much oak this gets. I don't taste a lot of oak with this. This could be 100% stainless steel.
There's a certain astringency, though, sometimes with a Chardonnay that sometimes sort of rubs me the wrong way in the back of my throat. Even though you get that buttery flavor up front, Sometimes there's a lingering astringentness. Sometimes.
Yeah, it's got bad mouthfeel.
But not
bad
this one.
finish.
This is kind of pleasant, and I certainly would not be offended to serve this to anybody of my friends or family, even though they know I don't really care for Chardonnay.
If I were having someone over who enjoyed Chardonnay, I'd give this a shot. Sure, I'd see if they.
Chichu, what's your opinion on Chardonnay? I don't know if we've ever you haven't really talked much about Chardonnay in our shows in the past.
We haven't, and I go more for red wine just as a rule. When I do drink whites, Chardonnays are ones I like. I do like that a lot of butter when I do have a Chardonnay.
Yeah.
I want to really experience it. I really feel like that's the experience of a Chardonnay. So, and this is not. It's got like just enough. It's not overpowering, and go back to what we were kind of alluded to with the first wine. If I were in the mood for a Chardonnay, this is what I expect the Chardonnay to taste like. So I like this one.
He made an interesting point. If you're expecting a Chardonnay and you want a Chardonnay, this is what you would expect it to taste like.
Yes.
That's very interesting because sometimes we've had Chardonnays and it doesn't taste like a Chardonnay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you sort of know what you're getting if you are a Chardonnay drinker and you know your Chardonnays to a certain degree. This is what this is. It's a Chardonnay. And it's not unpleasant at all.
Absolutely. And I fully appreciate wines that take on different characteristics. If it's Chardonnay, maybe it drinks or tastes, you get characteristics from other varietals. I fully appreciate that. But still, part of me, when I like the traditional or or usual, maybe that's a better word, the usual flavor profile for a varietal, especially like this.
Well, before I give a rating on this and we move into the next one, I just want to say when you're watching this show in February, one of my favorite actors just recently passed away, Alan Rickman died.
Oh, I heard about
Yes.
that.
And he's also one of my favorite movies, Bottle Shock. And I get a little choked up thinking about him because a lot of times I've watched him perform. He was always one of my favorite actors, whether it was in Die Hard or the Harry Potter movies. I know you're up there drinking with us, Mr. Rickman, so this is a toast for you. So it was nice seeing your movies. So on a positive side, are we into our reds now?
Well, are we going to rate the Chardonnay?
Yeah, see, I got so down on Alan Rickman that I completely forgot to rate. I'm giving this one an almost thumbs up. Not a full thumbs up, so a 3/4 thumbs up.
That's the first 3/4 thumb we've had on this show.
It is.
First one in 5 years.
It is the first one. 3/4 thumb up.
I'm going to give this a thumbs up, and I'm surprising myself because when I tried this a couple of nights ago, I didn't like it that much, but it's drinking much better tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a thumbs up.
I'm going to go straight thumbs up. Don't think about it. Chardonnay, thumbs up all the way.
I'm just basing it on the fact that I'm not a crazy Chardonnay person.
Absolutely.
And I just can't, in my heart, give it a thumbs up.
Absolutely. No problem.
So that's probably my own bias taking effect there. So it is what it is.
All right, we move on to Portugal.
This is the
Oh,
one
we've
that we
already poured
guessed.
this, yes. We let this one breathe for a little bit. So
We did, and actually
poured
the
this
reds
earlier.
tonight that we're drinking should breathe a little bit. We tried to do that before the start of the show. So I think this one's opened up a little bit in the cup. So this is the Porca di Morca, the Douro, 2013. This is number 39 on the Wine Spectator's Top 100 list. This is also a 90-pointer. And Douro reds can range anywhere from smooth and dark, fruity and lush, with a dense, mature fruit flavor. That's generally the profile for the Douro region, Douro grape. And I don't know what to expect from this. So I haven't had this before. Have you had this before?
No, I haven't. And this is made from 3 really obscure Portuguese varietals, which I'd never encountered before.
Yeah, actually I wrote those down, Jim, because I know you're normally pretty good at this,
Yeah.
but the grapes can include the Touriga Francesca, the Tinta Roriz, the Touriga Nacional, and the Tinta Barroca. Now, I don't know how good that
Very
was,
impressive.
but
I think that was pretty good.
so there's 4
You-
varietals that could be taking place in
Yeah.
there. So
And we don't drink these varietals very often on the show, so this will be new.
I'm not going to chime in first this time. I'm going to let somebody else chime in.
Jitu?
I'll tell you what, it's a lot of spice in this right here.
It's a lot of pepper.
A lot of,
yeah. And that's the almost from the very beginning. That's what you get is pepper, and it just
Immediately.
stays with you for the whole time. It's the front, the middle, the end.
Yes. Not a lot of body to this, I'm surprised.
Nope.
But
It's funny you should say pepper because they did say notes of slate and white pepper were very prominent in this.
I would say that is accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, I get the slate right up front.
And the Douro region actually is very hilly and it's very rugged. And a lot of people, when they see that area, say, how can you grow vineyards, or how could you grow wine in that area? And that probably contributes to the sort of the ruggedness of this wine, at least that you're feeling in your mouth in regards to its flavor. I actually like this. I think even though it is a little on the peppery side, I like the character. I think it has a little body. I think it has a little character. And it's still talking to me in my mouth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And again, this is probably a wine you should have with food. I would serve it with this with something off the grill. It drinks okay on its own, but I think it would really pair well with something that had a little smokiness to it.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. And
That would definitely complement
Yeah.
anything smoky.
most of the wines we're drinking tonight probably would, in my opinion, in your opinion, taste better with food. But I still like to be able to drink a wine if we're just sitting around talking.
Right.
And enjoy it that way too. I don't know where I stand on the first two whites in regards to just drinking on their own without food. But I think the Douro, I sort of can drink this without any food. At least that's me. So
Yep.
I would agree with you on that. I could see myself really enjoying this in like the fall, winter, this kind of time. It's just got that warm feeling, and I could kick back with this.
well, you know
Easily.
what? Because we have plenty of time and I have some food. I actually
We need
brought
a fire. And
Well, I brought smoked bacon, which I thought would
all
be
right.
very good for the reds.
Yeah,
So
I'll try
pop a
it.
little piece of smoked bacon in your
I'll
mouth.
try a little splash more. Now it's interesting you brought bacon. The backstory for this wine is Porca de Merca. It actually means wild boar from the Merca region.
Isn't that ironic?
So they've named this wine after a wild boar that was terrorizing the village a couple of hundred years ago, and was for several years going out and eating all the food that they were growing out in the fields. And they finally had to hire a whole bunch of huntsmen to come in and kill the boar, and then they erected a statue to the boar in the center of the village. So that's why they've named the wine after the porca, which porca means wild boar.
Which Jim told me before the show started, which I thought was interesting, and he didn't know I had the smoked bacon tonight. And you know, the funny thing is, the bacon goes perfectly with this red.
It really does. Oh, that just comes
Absolutely
alive.
perfectly. So now I'm eating my own words. This wine probably is better with food.
It's fantastic with the bacon.
It is. It really is. And I'm always still amazed by how much a food can just change your experience with a wine. Whenever I've had it happen before, and every time it happens, just it amazes me. It changed this immensely. The bacon.
We have, Bob and I have done a wine
good to
tasting
great.
party. We have crostini 5 ways, where each crostini is meant to hit a different part of the tongue. So you get salty, you get sweet, you get sour, you get bitter, you get unami, which is kind of a meaty texture. And it's amazing how each one of those crostinis affects the flavor of the wine. So that's what you're getting here. You're seeing how this wine just changed instantly when you had a little bit of the bacon.
Indeed.
I wasn't prepared for it to be that pronounced, but wow, that really made a nice difference.
Huge difference.
And it's another example of, like I said, it's great to watch our show and drink wine with us. But once again, even if you don't want to agree with us, try some of these wines, if not these wines, other wines with food, because what we might not like what just happened here, even though I liked it, it just became even a better wine when you had the right
Yeah.
food. Maybe the saltiness, the smokiness, the meat just really made that pop. So that's
Well,
a thumbs up for me. Two
Yeah,
thumbs up for
thumbs
Bobby
up for
P.
me.
Thumbs up all the way. 2. Can I give 2 as well?
Absolutely.
You can give
Sure.
2 thumbs up.
Absolutely.
Now, luckily, there were 250,000 cases of this manufactured. So if you're trying to find this out, if you're watching the show tonight and want to drink along with
You
us,
can locally.
you'll be able to find it.
You can find this one
It's-
locally, and anything in the West Hartford, Avon area, you'll be able to find this one. Unless, because of popularity of it, it starts selling out very quickly.
That's still a lot. 250,000 cases is a lot.
That is
So
a lot.
It'll be around for a little while.
So, good. And that's between $12 and $14.99 a bottle.
All right, last up, we have an interesting blend. This is a Shiraz Viognier blend. This is an Australian wine, but usually when you see those two grape varietals blended together, it's a French style. It's called the Côte de Rôti, and this is from the Rhone Valley in France, where they're blending those two grapes together. And I thought it was unusual to be blending a Shiraz and a Viognier, But the Viognier is supposed to kind of round out the edges. Shiraz can be a very harsh grape,
Correct, yeah.
a lot of pepper. If you thought the last one was peppery, a typical Shiraz from Australia has even more peppery.
Are there still actually a lot of Australian wines on the top 100 list? I didn't really go through it with a fine-tooth comb.
I didn't look at the list closely enough to answer that question, but we can certainly take a look at that
because they've taken a
have an
hit in a
answer for
few
next
years.
show.
I know they used to be super popular, then they moderated it off a little bit. But
well, give this one a taste and tell me what you think. This is a collaboration between a guy who flew over from France to Australia to collaborate on this wine with the Australian wine owner. So it's kind of a meeting of two minds.
I'm going to let you chime in first on this one because this is really interesting.
It is so much smoother than the first one, the first red we had.
Yeah. Definitely smoother. I like this one a lot. It's got the body. It's got, I wouldn't say, definitely not peppery. It's got a little bit of spice to it. The only thing I would say about the first one, the spice kind of overpowered the fruit a little bit, but I don't have that here.
Yeah.
It's a lot more balanced than the other one.
That's exactly what I was looking
that.
for. It's definitely balanced.
And
Absolutely.
that's the Viognier. That's balancing out
Yeah.
the harsh characteristics of the Shiraz.
This is definitely the kind of wine that you could drink just sitting a fire in your house.
Indeed.
I actually put another piece of bacon in my mouth. I'm going to taste this with this.
This is Australian.
This is Australian, yes.
Where are the? Do they make wine all over Australia? Are there particular places in Australia?
It's all along the east coast of Australia.
Okay.
And then, New Zealand is just north of there. So, that, there's good wine growing regions.
By the way, the bacon did not work with the Shiraz.
Bad combo. All right.
Another classic example. We have
I'm gonna hold off.
well, no, I mean, I could be. That's just me.
No,
I mean, everybody's
no.
palate's different, but
That's true. That's true.
the wine is too balanced. The smoked bacon sort of is too overpowering.
Threw it off. Yeah.
But the Douro, because it's a stronger wine, you needed the stronger wine to balance out the bacon flavor, and it worked perfectly in harmony. I think it doesn't work in harmony with your Australian.
So we got to come up with another food to pair with this.
Well, I mean, there's 3 different types of cheeses. I mean, obviously there's hundreds of types of cheeses, but I have a Sharp, I have sort of a mild Swiss, I have a Colby. Those might work because they're a mild cheese. A mild cheese would probably work for that. Or if you don't want to have any cheese, you just sit, put your legs together, and have a glass of wine, talking to your lover.
Kick back.
You can do that too. But I like this one a lot, Jim. This is really nice.
I do too.
Indeed.
Yeah, I could drink this all night long. This actually got 91 points from the Wine Spectator. You'll find it for about $18 to $22. So it's right about where we want it to be price-wise. And unfortunately, there's only 4,500 cases of this that were produced. So if you're interested in this and you're looking for it, better go out quick and find it.
later.
Yes.
Can I have another little small
Absolutely.
pour? Just a small pour
A
of
little
that
more.
one. And I want to go back to what you were talking about earlier about the Crostini 5-Ways, because we've been talking about possibly another show in the future pertaining to that. Why don't you tell people what that exactly is again?
Well, it's, the crostinis are designed to hit every different part of the tongue. So, the tongue is capable of tasting something sweet, something sour, something bitter. And the crostinis are going to hit all of that. And also the umami taste, which is kind of a meaty texture. So you can replicate that with mushroom sauce on top of a crostini.
And we did that a few years back at one of your parties. Right?
Yeah, I've had this party a couple of times at my house, and people are always shocked when they taste a crostini and then taste the wine, and the wine just changes in their mouth. And then they taste another crostini and taste the wine, and again the wine changes into something different. So
And this isn't overcomplicated. This is
No.
me and Jim here. You can do a crostini. You don't have to be, a Chef Ramsay or something. A crostini is doable. And so, don't be intimidated by the fact that we're talking like we're, professional chefs here, because I know I'm not. Jim's close, though. I have to give him that.
So we'll be doing this on a future episode and posting the recipes online, so you can make this at home.
That's amazing.
So what's your favorite?
Favorite for tonight?
Oh, is that for me? Oh, my
I'm
favorite.
sorry, yes, just you.
My favorite is our last one.
the Shiraz Viognier.
The Shiraz Viognier, absolutely. All good. I really like the other red we had, as well. But this the balance. for me is what pushes it
Yeah.
over.
Did you try it with a milder cheese? This particular?
Not a big cheese person,
Not- oh.
so I wouldn't ever have it with the cheese, a wine. So
Jatu, all the years I knew you, I did not know you were not a cheese person.
not a big cheese person. Not a cheese person.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Now this has such great acidity too. That's what I love about this last wine we're drinking is, a lot of times wines can be flat or have just a little bit of spike of flavor and then it disappears. But this has so much great acidity and it just stays with you the entire time you're drinking it.
And I think that's important because a lot of times you go out either to restaurants or to weddings or wherever and you're drinking a cheaper red. This is an example where you can get a quality, highly rated red and actually taste the intricate details of a good red in a bottle like this.
Yeah, I see why this wine made it on the top 100 list. Some of the other wines we tried earlier tonight, they're good. I don't know if they deserve to be on the top 100, but this one I can definitely see why it's on that list.
So I have a question for both of you guys. So we were talking about how food can really open up a wine, and some wines can stand on their own. As I understand it, the French tend to make wine they make it so you can drink it with a meal.
Yes.
As I understand
Yep.
it. Whereas California, we make us Americans, right? We make it just to drink it for the most part.
Exactly, yeah.
So
different style.
Just different style, different philosophy. No, nothing wrong with either. What is the philosophy on that? On like these in other countries, say Australia, say Portugal, things like that, Italy.
Well, I know Italy, the wine is designed to go with the food.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
they have a saying in Italy, if you're drinking wine, you're eating food.
That's true.
You
And
never do the.
I'm sorry, Jim. You're absolutely right. We're down to our last 2 minutes here, and I wanted to
goodness.
make sure that I thanked Jatu for being on the show tonight.
Oh,
'cause
thanks for having me.
what's going to happen is when the show's over, we're going to keep talking and drinking, and I wouldn't get a chance to thank him for being on the show because I know it's been a long time coming, and you're doing so much work behind the camera all these years, and now you're at ESPN, and you're doing a lot of work there.
Yes, I
so,
am, yes.
we appreciate that.
Oh man, thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. It's our pleasure.
Yes,
Our
good
pleasure.
time.
And
So,
just a quick
yeah.
reminder, if you want to watch previous episodes of our show, you can find those on whctv.org or on youtube.com. And if you have a question or comment that you would like Bob or I to answer here on the show, please friend us on Facebook. You can find us at Two Guys and a Lotta Wine. And we spell Lotta, L-O-T-T-A.
And both Jim and I, we want to thank everybody who's been watching our show for all these years, and we're still going strong. We look forward to a solid 2016 wine tasting extravaganza.
Lots more wine for us to drink.
Lots more surprises. Maybe that finally on location shoot we've been aiming for almost 5 years.
It's going to happen.
We'll see where that goes.
It's going to happen.
But once again, thanks for watching. I'm Bobby P.
And I'm James Kimbrough.
And until next time, keep
Keep
all
us-
of us, all of us,
All three of us
in your wine cellar.